I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Have you wondered why the intensity of violence has increased in recent times? I mean terrorism, after Donald Trump said he will strike terrorists. Here are my postulations. Number one, these terrorists are trying to dare and lure America to a battle. You'll be wondering why they want to lure America to a battle. These are psychopaths. They are sick psychologically. They are bloodthirsty Islamic terrorists. Bloodthirsty. You will see a repetition of it in Lebanon, Hezbollah. You know that Israel will come after you. You will still be fighting. You see it with the Houthis in Yemen. You see it with the Iranians. They derive satisfaction from killing. They derive satisfaction from bloodshed. They are psychopaths. They are sick. Number two, the increase in terrorism is the same formula they used against Goodluck Jonathan. I am not a fan of Tinubu. I don't have anything personal against him. But they are suspecting that if there is so much violence and disturbance and insecurity, that Tinubu will lose the elections. And then it will happen like the time of Goodluck Jonathan. And one of their own who will be sympathetic towards them will come into power. Or Tinubu might resign and Shettima, who is, I'm not going to conclude that statement, might come into power. But you see, they are making a great mistake. Nigeria is a complex setting. If they pressurize Tinubu too much, you will surprise that he will win the sympathy of the southern part of Nigeria. His people and all these governors decamping into APC, and that agenda, they will sell it, and people will have sympathy towards Tinubu.
Barrister, what's your thought on what this man said? Do you agree with him?
Entirely, particularly the first reason he gave, that they are psychopaths, they just like the taste of blood. I don't think that is a very good calculation of these people. Are not, they are psychopaths in the sense of merciless killing, but they are thinking. They think correctly and they think properly. Let's not miss that point. They are not just people there who don't know anything, who hold guns and kill like bush people. Number one, these people receive advanced training. Number two, they have competent commanders. Number three, they are in touch with foreign powers and foreign military organizations who also assess them and assess their leaders and approve their commanders. So it is not just psychopath who is there just wanting to kill. They have an agenda, they have a purpose which they want to execute. One of the things that the second reason he gave, yes, there's a possibility that they want to use it. They use it successfully from 2015 to remove Jonathan in power, and the playbook can be used again to remove Tinubu from power. But to a lesser extent, I don't look at it as strong as it used to be before. But also one thing I have to add is that these people are also calculating. And if you don't think of them, when you are analyzing them, don't think they are fools. Analyze them as people who think properly. They know that the country is under tremendous pressure. They know that the government is under tremendous pressure They know the whole country, the attention is on Nigeria. If I were an insurgent, this is the right time to strike. Why? Because this is the time that I can make a lot of money. The government will be forced to pay, and the government is paying in order to quickly resolve the issues. Look at the KB case. I hope you saw the video where the insurgents say, look, the government negotiated with us, even the one in Kwara. So if the government, if the attention of the whole world is on Nigeria today, on the issues that every kidnapping will be resolved almost immediately. And how do you resolve that? There's no way that the insurgents get away without getting the money and the possibly ammunition and other things they want, so that the government can claim that we have settled, we have sorted this thing out to lessen the pressure. So from a person thinking properly, if I were an insurgent, this is the right time when my opponent is under tremendous pressure to strike and get privileges and get money and get other things that we need as in the bush. On the other hand, they are also calculating. They know that it will take maybe a few weeks or so before, if America were to act, they are also looking at the window that the US will act. So they need to do that before that action will come, so that they can disperse and separate themselves. So I don't think they are unthinking psychopathic people. They are thinking, and they operate under those things.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I think I have a different take on that. I do not. I agree with some of the things he said, and I don't agree with most of the things he said. Now, because this whole thing is a complex situation, because it doesn't. Sometimes I think it this way, analyze it this way, and I come to get even more confused about the situation. The reality is this: no right-thinking person will do. Look, the truth is, if Donald Trump, if the situation wanes down, definitely the US will not intervene, and it's a win for the terrorists. All they need to do is to just artificially go underground and wait while they just feast on their past glory. They've made so much money. While they are feasting on their past glory, go underground and be quiet, so that this issue of global community will pacify the global community, and they will kill that idea. The moment that idea is killed or whatever, or it's a matter of time, they will come back again and start making money. But it is foolish for you to intensify and make the situation even worse, thereby giving the US even stronger reason, because at this point, even the global community, even people who are pleading on probably mounting pressure, pleading on behalf of Tinubu, that the other global leaders will be, even they themselves will be frustrated to say, so this thing has gone out of hand. So at this juncture, even the global community will be behind Donald Trump intervening in this situation. Now, my point is this: if you people, all you have said, it is what is the main thing. So what happens with it means that so what are we talking about is sponsors. Now, try to remember that we all know the sponsors right now. It's in the public domain. Their names are all over the place. What all you have just said, or what that man said then was actually people are focusing more on the people on the ground, the foot soldiers. But the focus should be on the leaders, the sponsors of this. If we are to focus on the sponsors, it obviously means that all their postulations, your opinions are not really, they are not that potent. I don't think that is what is at play here, because remember, when the president, we just said it earlier, that if US is intervening, they will intervene in two fronts, both kinetic and criminal and legal front, by focus going after the sponsors, while at the same time simultaneously they are going after these foot soldiers. So if you have sponsors, these sponsors we are talking about are in government, including the vice president's name that have appeared over and over and over the years, still appearing. So it doesn't make sense for us to think that they just want to use this window of the time that it will take for US to intervene to really make all the money and make all whatever. You are giving US more ammunition to actually intervene as fast, as quickly as possible. Because this whole thing is becoming crazy and a complex situation. That is one. Secondly, this issue of they are trying to make the system, the government, ungovernable so that Tinubu will leave. It doesn't, that doesn't add up to the evidence, the circumstantial evidences we have on ground. Like we all have agreed. It is nothing, no one is arguing about it anymore. The people, the sponsors of this are in this same Tinubu's government. If we agree that Tinubu had a deal with with terrorists, and we all agree and believe that these sponsors are some of them are in and out of the government of Tinubu. Some of them are ministers, some of them are even currently governors, some of them are, like we all know, the vice president, we all suspect, it's not even suspicion. His name has, like, just like that Madala bombing we talked about, the Madala bomber. That's a clear evidence that man was involved. So we are talking about the sponsors are within the corridors of power. Why would the sponsor will be so foolish, very, very foolish, to intensify even after the threat? This is all. It's not only a complex situation, but it's a contradicting situation. Why? Because you can't be going to the global leaders to plead, to ask them to plead on your behalf, to intercede on your behalf to Donald Trump, while you as the sponsors are just making things worse. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to. My point, the point I'm trying to make here.
The issue. Your analysis is based on a very effective kinetic and non-kinetic intervention by the United States.
Yes.
But I happen to think differently. I think the intervention of the US can only be limited.
Of course, I agree with you on that.
It most likely be taking out the insurgents, leaders, and their destiny. The sponsors and the supporters is a different level. The US cannot come here and
they will sanction them.
Catch these people.
Yes, no, of course not.
It has to be us, Nigerians, or a system or a level of Nigerians that we take out the sponsors. We cannot rely on the US.
Yeah, but no, hold on, Barrister. Let me tell you how they will do that. They can do that. Now, of course, I didn't mean that the US will just go simultaneously taking out using a kinetic means and using legal means to go whatever. What I mean is that they will use legal means by mounting pressure. Like I said, we all know that Tinubu has a whole lot of baggage. They have a huge dossier on Tinubu. You and I know, we agree that Tinubu is crazy about power. He just wants to, he craves power like no man business. He can give out anything just to remain in power. So all they need to do is to mount pressure on him to bring these people to, first of all sanction them, that these people they can't move money around globally freely. That is one. Secondly, they cannot travel around the world freely. They'll first of all decapitate their freedom of movement and their freedom of business, or their freedom of business transactions. They'll first of all decapitate. They have the power to do that. They can decapitate that. But locally, they can mount pressure on President Tinubu to take action against these people, or they will support someone against him to pull him down. So this is what I mean.
President Tinubu's options in taking on these financiers and supporters are very limited because of the constitution we have and the legal system. He is not a military ruler. He cannot arrest a governor. He cannot arrest the vice president. They are people with immunity. There are people in the Senate, there are people in the armed forces that his options on taking of them are extremely limited. So if you are relying on the president or putting pressure on him to deal with those category of people, you are virtually pushing him to the wall,
Barrister,
because number one, he doesn't have much power to deal with these
Barrister,
people.
let me tell you where he has power to do that. Let me tell you how he has a power by proxy. You and I know that the president. What did he do? What did he do? And what do you call it? What this state, Bayelsa State. You and I know that the president can induce states House of Assembly to just concoct one crime against the governor, to unseat that governor with the aim of immediately he's impeached. They will pick him up by law. There are so many ways you can kill a rat when it comes to, you know how powerful Nigeria president is. Constitutionally, you know, not even constitutionally, because constitution does not give him that power to do all those things. But the problem is that what he did in Bayelsa State wasn't constitutional. But yet he did it and went
Rivers State.
Sorry, Rivers State. I mean, so that is the point. So there are so many ways he can do that.
He had the support of the National Assembly. And now when you want to move against people who are also in the National Assembly, who are in the armed forces, don't forget, these people are not standing individually on their own. They also are a collective, and they are going to respond. If Tinubu moves against a governor, he needs the support of the National Assembly. Yes. In case of Rivers State, it was a simple issue, so the politics dominated the matter, and he could get away with it. But when you take on these people who are very strong, who have their supporters in the National Assembly, in the armed forces, and other places, it becomes a different ball game altogether. In fact, if he were to take on these people, I doubt if he himself can survive in that office. If he were to take on that challenge of taking on these people,
he can.
I doubt if he will be able to survive.
The only way he can survive, look. Let me tell you one thing. We seem to downplay the power of the U.S. when it comes to internal politics. Now, we made it that way. It is not their fault. We have made U.S. and the Britain. U.S. is even more powerful than Britain when it comes to Nigerian politics. We have made the U.S. so powerful. We gave them that power that they are exuding right now against us, because that is the foundation we laid, and it is regrettable. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, there is while that is a downside, we have the upside of it. Because right now, we, the people of Nigeria, are helpless. So at this juncture, I think we should be appreciating that the U.S., who is coming, especially with someone like Donald Trump, not like the former presidents who were evil, they were just after their own interest. With someone like Donald Trump, we should be excited that at least we have someone that is coming to give us a kind of reprieve, kind of to save us from our own government, because we are incapacitated right now. Now you speak out. With the moment you speak out, they pick you up, they arrest you, criticize the government, they arrest you. So now they are literally flogging us and asking us not to cry. So what else do we have? We don't have any. We are just hopeless. If not for at least the expected intervention of the U.S. So you see, let us not downplay the power of the U.S. Anybody, if U.S. supports someone on the ground, if there is a U.S. backing, because like I said, U.S. can put serious pressure not just on the president, but even political leaders. You see, these political leaders, there's nothing they fear as lacking freedom of movement, freedom to move their money around, freedom of business transaction. They fear this like normal business. You see, all those political blocs, by establishment, they always want to jet out and in and out of the country. They always want to. They don't deal on local currencies where their focus, all their focuses are based on global dispositions. That is justice. So U.S. that can even on their own unilaterally mount such kind of pressure by limiting their resources, how their money moves, even their own movement globally. So most of these people don't want to have that. Why they are mounting pressure on Tinubu to do this? They are mounting pressure on their own, on the individuals, a sort of. So they can actually, if US is behind the president to do this, he can achieve it even when no matter the pressure, because while they are when they try to mount pressure to fight against Tinubu, when Tinubu is doing that, and they decide to go after these individuals mounting pressure on Tinubu, those people will mellow down. They will cave. So, Barrister, the truth is that, like I said, we are underplaying and underestimating the power of the US in our entire polity, because we gave them that power. Unfortunately, regrettably, we gave them that power, and they are using it very, very strongly, and they can use this. But right now, we are helpless. We are lucky now. In this case, in this situation, we are lucky that they even have such power, because our government, they are killing us. They are dealing with us. We can't even fight them anymore. So we need someone to come help us.
I support of foreign intervention and foreign help, because from all indications, after more than a decade, it is clear that we cannot help ourselves.
That is it.
It's clear that we cannot sort out our problems, either because of lack of will or lack of capacity. One way or another, we have demonstrated that we cannot solve this problem. So we have to put down our pride and invite foreign powers, particularly the ones that are capable, the US and Britain, to help us take out this insurgent as a first step. Then further help us to really root out the problem in its entirety.
Don't even go with Britain. Britain is the devil itself. Britain is the really cause of our problem today. I'm surprised you even mentioned Britain. Hell no. Britain can never wish us well. They are the foundation of the cause of what is happening in Nigeria from the inception of the country. That's it. So don't even call Britain. And Britain itself, have they taken care of their own country? You know what is happening in Britain even more than myself. For God's sake, you are more enlightened, you are more informed than myself. The Islamization that is really rampaging the world now is really going on in the UK right now. So that don't even go there, because they themselves they can't even take care of their own home.
Let us also not forget that they have interest in Nigeria, and they also have capacity, particularly when they ally with the United States.
No, listen.
So as of now, what we want is, as a first step, take out the insurgents, take out their leaders, and then going forward, help us to take out and neutralize their financials and supporters.
You and I know that. You and I know that when it comes to intervention in the US with the US will never. They know Britain. They know they themselves. They are corrupt. Let me tell you one thing, especially with regard to Donald Trump will never, they will go it all alone. Because look, I'm surprised you are bringing UK for God's sake. Yes, they have the capacity, but they don't have the will to do that. Forget that, they cannot, they will never do anything that what are you talking about? They are the genesis and the revelation of the problem Nigeria is facing today. So don't tell me, don't bring in that name as a solution to, no. US will do it, and they will go it all alone. They have the intelligence we are talking about. When it comes to intelligence, you see, US and Israel, those are the people. The UK themselves, they depend on the US and Israel for intelligence. So that is just, they have their own limitations as well. And that is why they depend on the US and Israel for intelligence. They are the ones that really hold. So US does not, we don't need UK. UK, they are our enemy. As far as I'm concerned, by default, they are our enemy. We don't need them. So the US can unilaterally do this on their own without any support or whatever. So that is just it. What is Nigeria is a piece of cake to take for them to take care of the kinetic aspect of it. What they don't need them. They have all it takes or whatever. And the US have all the powers, both the kinetic and administrative powers to do that. Like I said, they will mount pressure on the president, mount pressure on the political establishment. They will have their way to do it. It's just that, look, all it takes is for someone to have that will in the US, especially the president, to actually pull this. It's just that the only thing is that the president, what he wants, what he just desires is Donald Trump is not after actually changing government or doing anything very strong in the US. What is after is just this issue of peace. He doesn't want he's just fighting for a kind of legacy, a legacy of peace globally. That is what he's trying to achieve. He just wants to achieve that calmness in Nigeria. He doesn't care whether the government or whatever. Donald Trump is not that kind of person who wants to replace any government. What he's just after is just peace. But if he really wants to do that and really change Nigeria administratively, US have the capacity to do that. But that's not their focus anyway.